A Russian fighter jet crosses into Estonian airspace at 14:22 local time. The violation is 3 kilometers deep. NATO radar systems track the intrusion immediately. 2 F-16s scramble from Emari airbase. Time to intercept, 4 minutes. The Russian Su-27 does not respond to radio warnings. NATO protocols are clear: identify, warn, escort out. The interceptors close in at supersonic speed. At 14:26, visual contact is established. The Russian pilot banks hard left. 1 F-16 mirrors the maneuver. Wingtips pass within 15 meters. Then collision. Both aircraft disintegrate at 12,000 feet. 2 pilots dead in seconds. The debris falls across the Estonian-Russian border. NATO command receives the alert at 14:27. Moscow receives it at 14:28. Both sides now face the same question. Was this deliberate? Welcome to Global Conflict Room, where a single accident can trigger alliance warfare. The crash site straddles the border near Narva. Estonian forces arrive first. Russian border guards arrive 30 seconds later. Both sides establish perimeters 200 meters apart. Small arms are loaded, but not raised. Command chains light up across 2 continents. In Brussels, NATO's North Atlantic Council convenes emergency session within 8 minutes. In Moscow, the Security Council assembles in the Kremlin. Estonian president invokes Article 4 consultations immediately. Article 4 allows any member to request consultations when territorial integrity or security is threatened. It is not Article 5 yet. Article 5 means collective defense. An attack on one is an attack on all. But Estonia is pushing for it. The Estonian defense minister speaks first in the NATO session. Russian violation of airspace is undisputed. Collision resulted in death of Allied pilot. Debris analysis is ongoing, but initial assessment suggests Russian pilot executed aggressive maneuver. Poland and Lithuania support Estonian position immediately. They want Article 5 invoked. France urges caution. Germany requests 48 hours for investigation. The United States holds the deciding voice. The chairman of the Joint Chiefs is patched in from the Pentagon. What should NATO do first? A. Invoke Article 5 immediately. B. Conduct investigation before escalation. C. Deploy additional forces to Baltic states as show of strength. The room is divided. Meanwhile, Moscow presents its own narrative. Russian Defense Ministry releases statement at 14:51. Their pilot was conducting routine patrol in international airspace. NATO fighters crossed into Russian airspace and initiated aggressive intercept. Collision was result of NATO recklessness. Russian pilot died defending the motherland. The Kremlin announces immediate military exercises in Kaliningrad and Belarus. 3 motor rifle brigades begin moving toward the Lithuanian border. Russian A-50 early warning aircraft take off from air bases near St. Petersburg. Naval assets in the Baltic Sea increase readiness status. This is where timing becomes everything. NATO must decide before Russian reinforcements reach the border. Current window, 90 minutes. After that, any NATO troop movement looks like preparation for offensive action. The Estonian government formally requests Article 5 invocation at 15:04. The request is supported by Latvia, Lithuania, Poland, and Romania. These nations share borders or near borders with Russia. They see this differently than Western Europe sees it. For them, hesitation invites further testing of boundaries. For Western Europe, premature escalation risks continental war. The U.S. position emerges slowly. The Secretary of Defense is on secure video link. He presents 3 options. Option 1. Invoke Article 5. Deploy additional brigade combat team to Estonia within 72 hours. Establish no-fly zone over Baltic states. This signals resolve, but risks military confrontation. Option 2. Conduct joint investigation with Russia. Delay major deployments. Pursue diplomatic resolution through OSCE. This preserves de-escalation pathway, but may signal weakness. Option 3. Deploy forces to Baltic states without invoking Article 5. frame it as defensive posture enhancement, maintain pressure while avoiding treaty obligation. This splits the difference, but satisfies no one fully. Each option carries irreversible consequences. NATO Secretary General must build consensus among 32 member states. The decision requires unanimity. Any single nation can block Article 5 invocation. At 1518, France proposes compromise. Invoke Article 4 formally. Deploy NATO response force to Poland and Lithuania. Conduct accelerated investigation with international observers. Demand Russian withdrawal of forces from border areas. Germany supports this approach. The United Kingdom calls it insufficient. What happens next determines whether this remains an incident or becomes the spark. In the global conflict room, we analyze how accidents become wars. The Russian force buildup continues. By 1530, 12 battalion tactical groups are moving west. Russian state media broadcasts footage of NATO aggression. The narrative is being set. Domestically, Putin cannot be seen backing down after a Russian pilot died. Internationally, NATO cannot ignore airspace violation that killed Allied personnel. The crash investigation team reaches the site at 1542. Estonian and Russian officers stand 15 meters apart. Neither side will allow the other exclusive access. International observers from Sweden and Finland are requested. They can arrive in 4 hours. Too slow. Debris must be secured now before evidence is contaminated or removed. A Russian officer steps forward. He proposes joint documentation before international arrival. An Estonian colonel agrees. This small moment of cooperation is transmitted up both command chains. It does not stop the force buildup, but it creates a channel for communication. By 16, NATO has deployed E-3 Sentry AWACS aircraft over Poland. US B-52 bombers are placed on alert status in the United Kingdom. The USS Harry S. Truman carrier strike group in the Mediterranean increases speed toward the Baltic approaches. Russia responds by moving S-400 air defense systems to Kaliningrad. Iskander-M short-range ballistic missiles are positioned near the Lithuanian border. These missiles can reach Warsaw in 4 minutes. Russian submarines in the Baltic submerge and go silent. The military chess game accelerates. Each deployment is technically defensive. Each deployment increases the chance of miscalculation. Necessary deterrence or dangerous escalation? The question divides alliance capitals. At 1623, the preliminary crash analysis is shared. Both flight data recorders are damaged but partially readable. The Russian Su-27 telemetry shows the pilot received an engine warning 2 minutes before the collision. He was turning back toward Russian airspace when the collision occurred. The NATO F-16 telemetry shows the pilot was executing standard intercept protocol. Neither pilot took aggressive action in the final 10 seconds. The collision was mechanical failure plus proximity plus bad timing. This information does not reach the public. It reaches only the command centers. The political question remains: does it matter if it was an accident when a NATO pilot is dead on NATO soil after a Russian airspace violation? Estonia's position hardens. An accident caused by Russian violation is still a Russian-caused death. Article 5 should apply. Poland agrees. The Baltic states feel existentially threatened. For them, this is about survival, not legal nuance. France and Germany see room for de-escalation. The accident narrative provides both sides an exit. No one intended war. No one needs to choose war now. But exits require both sides taking them simultaneously. 1705, a second incident occurs. A Russian military vehicle crosses 200 meters over the Estonian border near Narva. Estonian border guards confront it. The Russian vehicle reverses back across the border. Estonian officials call it a probe. Russian officials call it a navigation error. NATO command sees it as testing response time and resolve. The window for de-escalation is closing. Which system activates first in a missile alert? A. Radar. B. Satellites. C. Command link. The answer is B, but in this scenario, it is human communication that matters most. At 17:30, the US president places a call to the Russian president. The call lasts 18 minutes. No transcript is released. What is released? A joint statement. Both sides agree to international investigation. Both sides agree to pull forces back to pre-incident positions over 48 hours. Both sides express regret for loss of life. Article 5 is not invoked. NATO increases Baltic presence by 1 additional battalion, but frames it as routine rotation. Russia cancels the Kaliningrad exercises, but maintains heightened readiness. The compromise holds by a thread. Estonian government is furious but bound by alliance decision. Russian military leadership feels constrained but accepts presidential directive. The crisis de-escalates over 72 hours. By the 5th day, international investigators confirm mechanical failure as primary cause. Russian pilot violated airspace, but collision was not deliberate. NATO pilot followed protocol, but proximity was misjudged by meters. No criminal negligence, no act of war. 2 families mourn. 2 nations nurse grievances. The Baltic Trap did not spring shut this time. In the global conflict room, we study the decisions that prevented it. The timing mattered. 90-minute window before force deployments became irreversible. The communication mattered. 1 phone call between leaders who understood mutual risk. The restraint mattered. Allies who wanted escalation were held back by alliance consensus. But the conditions remain. Russian airspace violations continue at lower frequency. NATO patrols maintain higher alert. The next incident may not offer the same exit. Was escalation avoidable? Yes, but only because both sides chose the off-ramp. Who bears responsibility? Both sides for the actions that created proximity. Both sides for the restraint that prevented war. If you follow global conflict analysis, type GCR. What decision would you make in that room? Alliance solidarity or crisis management? Immediate response or diplomatic space? The Baltic states exist on the razor edge between these choices. 1 accident already came within hours of triggering Article 5. The next one may not allow 18 minutes for a phone call. Subscribe to Global Conflict Room, inside the room where history changes.